This video will teach you how to lie to yourself.
The Mandela effect.
Read my disclaimer. I don't claim to be a Christian.
If you've never heard of this idea of the Mandela effect, is the mysteries of God. So it's kind of my main point as we dive into the scriptures and we look at some things within the scriptures this morning. Our brains are susceptible to false ideas. Our brains are susceptible to interpretations that become our own personal truth, whether it's truth or not.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. It's fair use. We're not breaking any rules. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Warning, don't watch this video if you're overdosed on stupidity pills from EYA, and especially from John. This video is going to go against your religions and your beliefs.
When you first began to see the scope and power of what the Mandela effect is doing in our world, you knew at your core this was something hugely significant, didn't you? The message comes from a power that can change the face of the earth.
This fool right here is giving Satan and CERN too much power.
Physical matter, change names, rearrange our minds, change the Bible, change our bodies, and change nature. This is different. It's time to open your mind.
We are creating the Mandela effect because we don't belong on this earth. I believe the Supreme Creator sent us here to start the Mandela effect so we can make it a positive thing, not a negative. This is why I'm making videos, because I saw how Satan turned the Mandela effect to a very confusing and evil event.
The message the Mandela effect is bringing is contradicting lifelong beliefs that some of us hold, so it is going to be hard to accept. The message the Mandela effect is bringing is contradicting lifelong beliefs that some of us hold, so it is going to be hard to accept.
Here we go, down the rabbit hole. All credit goes to this channel called Truth Shock TV.
Things are not the way they were. Yes, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. You know, we've had a cosmic change in this realm, which I don't know how far away this is from my original home, but this is not the same.
I called EYA channel. I talked to Scarab Performance channel. I talked to IPS channel. And I send messages to John from Wake Up or Else. I send them emails to stop talking about the Bible changes, because I knew in the future there was going to be a problem with the Orion people.
We need to be fervent in our calling.
Here's my warning. Do not listen to these Mandela effect preachers, because these preachers would make you turn against God, and this cult of deception is getting bad.
Now that we really need to not care what they think. We really need to not feel obligated to do the right thing according to the world. We really need to be breaking away from these old patterns that we have, that, you know what I mean, that you're being a mensch, you're doing it, you're
These preachers don't know we're on a different earth.
You've got to realize it's the Lord's calling you as an individual, and He's going to let you see things. I mean, He's let us all collectively see things, tremendous things, things that nobody sees. We have so many witnesses now of supernatural events that it's undeniable. What does it mean for the people who accuse us of sorcery, Christians that is, for seeing something that wasn't there, then it is there, and mentioning it?
I'm going to show you an example what happens to preachers that talk about the Mandela effect, and they tell people, Christians, that their Bibles are wrong. These Christians from the Orion Earth will chase you and attack you. I'm not talking spiritually, physically attacks. These people don't mess around.
And then having such fervent anger as if they're not who they were. Well, you've been given the heads up on this whole thing, right? You've been given the heads up on this whole thing. And we keep, look, I can't explain for them, but there'll be a time where it'll be brother against brother. People are going to, turn each other in.
Ask John what happens when he talks to his wife about the Mandela effect. She divorced him because she thinks he's nuts, because she thinks he lives in a different world. And this is him in his own words.
I mean, if you're a truther, it changes your life with your family and your loved ones and your church. Because all of a sudden, well, I'll tell you, I talked to my beautiful wife who I love and basically was almost begging her to stop the madness and put the family back together. I'm like, I love you. This is horrible. I don't want this. And this is what she told me. I don't want to be married to you because we live in two different worlds. Oh, God.
Please realize that you're inside a cult of changes and lies. I feel sorry for John and this preacher because they don't know that Satan turned the Mandela effect against us. The reason the Orion people are attacking us is because they don't know we come from Sagittarius armed Earth. They don't know we have a different memory. We see different things because we remember a different Bible. Second warning, do not mess with these Orion people. They will hurt you. They will use you and abuse you and take all your money. They don't care here.
Yeah, they think you're evil. They think you're demon possessed. They think you need deliverance because of what you've seen. They think you've fallen for mass delusion because of what you've seen.
This preacher is giving us a clue. This preacher is not listening to people when they tell him he's wrong.
They think you've fallen for mass delusion because of what you've seen. Whatever our conception of the world is, the whole world changed.
We changed, not the Bible.
And we're catching some of that. So God, you have my attention, Lord. Absolutely, Father, you have my attention.
That proves Jehovah is alive.
Where is this going? And this keeps escalating till the end. It doesn't stop. And now the supernatural effects have come, to which many Christians are saying, you're of the devil if you see anything. So now I see you're in the crosshairs.
Talking about these changes for many years leading up to this point. You didn't think we'd talk about all this coming to a conclusion if it was just going to be another, life and death and then the next generation. No, things come to a conclusion. Things today will be ramped up more and more surreal, but the proof of that biblically goes to where Jesus was told by Satan, you bow down to me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. I'll give you all the kingdoms. So Satan owns all the kingdoms of the earth and everything therein.
This preacher is correct. We're not at home anymore. The multiverse is real. 8 years ago, I found out that these people from the Orion, they mean business. They're very evil. This is what happens when the Sagittarius people attacks the Bible, saying that the Bible is wrong.
Same as what I grew up with. I don't know why we're subjected to a world of empty vessels, people that can't seem to really engage.
Here's another clue that this preacher gives us, that he noticed the people are different. That's because we're on a new earth.
Much in conversation or anything, but I've seen a change in people to where they look like they're not the same as the people that I had known before. There's something very different. And it's almost like in the Matrix. You come up against people, you talk to them, and they're there as like puppets to talk to you, kind of like animations that aren't really completely real. And that's different from the way it was. And of course, when you have that, you can easily have gang stalking all over the place, because you see the whole thing is being run from somewhere else. Your life, where you go, who you talk to, everything you do is kind of being, in a sense, what happens to you is being orchestrated.
The reason people from the Orion Earth are getting mad at us from the Sagittarius arm is because we're telling them that the Bible is wrong. Their religion is wrong. No, we are wrong. I did tell you that the Mandela effect is not about changes. It's much, much worse than that. And here it is. The reason I'm saying that you're wrong is because I discover we're on a different galaxy. We're in a different universe. Same Earth, same timeline, parallel dimension. Everything's the same, but different. If you don't believe me, go outside at night, go look for the North Star, Polaris. Polaris is missing. The North Star is missing.
Mandela effect and the changes that have occurred cosmically since that time, and then really it's almost like birth pangs. It gets more and more noticeable as we get closer to birth. Birth is the end of this age and the beginning of the new a new age. And this, whatever that means, whether it means no physical, other physical, multidimensional, non-mental, whatever it means, this is ending. This has ended, actually. We're in the interim period between two things. And
this is what happens when you tell people you see in changes. But they're not changes, they're differences.
People that don't see those changes, we hope that they one day do wake up and see them, because God is trying to get their attention.
So if you think there's no God, how in the hell do you think I got here?
He wants to get people's attention, to get focused on him and not the world. That's what this is all about.
The Mandela effect should prove to you that the Supreme Creator is real. This is why he sent us here, to help these people from Satan. We were sent here to help. This is why these people think you're attacking them, because you're not thinking positive. You're thinking changes. That's negative. And the people from the Orion Earth, they think you're evil. You're working for Satan. They're turning the tables around on us. Don't let them do that. You need to tell the people from this earth that we're wrong, and we need to apologize to them, because we didn't know that we were on a different earth. because we're reading a different Bible that we don't recognize. That's why we tell them it's changing, but it's not. We are the ones changing.
Before all of that, they go, well, I'm targeted. I don't realize I'm a targeted individual. Yeah.
This preacher is awake, but he's being physically attacked by the Orion people.
Why do you think that is? Now, there are people that go around YouTube and social media and things trying to shush anybody that talks like this. They want you to keep it all carnal and all basically just the facts, ma'am. You're being bullied by these people because they can. We need to defeat these perps and then you'll be okay. No.
This preacher is talking not about the Bible. He's not reading off the Bible. He didn't even say any verse from the Bible because he hates the Bible, because he thinks Satan is attacking his Bible.
You won't be okay. And I always get the same excuse. It's like, yeah, but then see someone else start, it got referred to somebody. I never got off the list, or you can't ever, right. You can't separate this or anything from spiritual warfare. Numero uno.
The Bible did say that the chosen ones and the elite will fall with this deception.
If you try to look at the physical first and then the spirit second, it'll be 180 degrees off from actual truth. So, you can do that. Everybody starts that way. That we believe the material world is the real world and the spiritual world is kind of like an afterthought. And until you see that it works the other way around, the world may beat you up. But there's a reason you're targeted, that's right. Not just because they can. I asked one guy about the witches. I go, why do they? Because they're the original targeters. You know that. Okay. That's where it all comes from.
This is what happens when you drink the Kool-Aid of the Mandela effect. You get stuck on changes. This guy's already delusional. He thinks the witches are after him. But if you tell him that he's doing something wrong, he gets more stubborn. So to me, he's a lost case. There is no hope for this guy. He's already in the cult, and he'll always be stuck on changes. The reason we think the Bible changed is because we don't recognize it. That should be evidence we're not on the same earth. I hope you agree that this preacher is a gloom and doom. Just nothing but bad news.
Fear not. All of this chaos and all this, we're not who we were 6 months ago. God is moving. Nothing is the same as it was. Everything is not people. Everyone on earth wants what I'm talking about.
The Mandela effect groups like Stavely's or EYA are telling people their Bible's changed. The Bible is under attack supernaturally. That's a lie. Stop doing that, because you're destroying people's beliefs on God and in the Bible. Don't believe these Mandela effect groups. They're lying to you. The reason I call them liars is because they don't have video evidence about the Bible morphine in front of them. That doesn't exist. They're lying to you. Nothing is changing. They cannot prove that. Here's Brian Stavely admitting that they don't have videos to prove the Mandela effect. They're lying to you.
We never claimed to be able to have those videos. We know that
the Mandela effect is caused by faulty eyewitness testimony, pointing out the supposed discrepancy. To start a cult of belief.
Brian Staley is scamming people out of money.